This was a week for rumbles, for striking back at unchallenged wisdom. Sometimes the desire to speak truth to power is so strong it outweighs any backlash that such interjections might cause. Sometimes that's exactly the point. Witness the recent conflagrations initiated by Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. They have been an item for several months and are currently on tour together. Ms. Minaj is the headliner, of course. On Tuesday, both took to Twitter with fast, feeling motivated fingers. Ms. Minaj was concerned about how the media normalizes and rewards certain types of beauty above others. Meek Mill was focused on preserving truthfulness in a genre that's long prized. As the smoke cleared, it became evident that hip-hop's most prominent new couple are also the new ethics police, animated by principle and standing firm and tall. Continue reading the main story-related coverage. Nicki Minaj performing at the BET Awards in June. Artsbeat 3 approaches to Twitter wars. Taylor Swift, Action Bronson, Drake. July 23, 2015. Ms. Minaj went first on Tuesday after not receiving an MTV Video Music Award nomination for Video of the Year. Though she did receive other nods, she underscored what she believed was a persistent bias in the kind of videos that receive attention. If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you'll be nominated for Vid of the Year, she wrote on Twitter. She was aggrieved but cool, reasonably assailing the ways in which the mainstream often diminishes the work of black women. Whether the VMAs were the most appropriate hill to take a stand on is an open question, but they were the available one. Evidence from an autopsy on Sandra Bland, the black woman found hanging dead in a Texas jail days after a traffic stop, supports the medical examiner's initial ruling of suicide, a county prosecutor told reporters on Thursday. The preliminary results also found high levels of marijuana in Bland's system, although officials are seeking additional tests to confirm when and how much she might have smoked or swallowed. Waller County Assistant District Attorney Warren Deepram said, "The evidence that we reviewed up to this point supports those findings," he said of the initial suicide ruling. Bland was pulled over on July 10 near Prairie View, Texas, northwest of Houston, for failing to signal a lane change after the incident escalated into an altercation between her and the white trooper. Bland was taken into custody and charged with assaulting an officer. She was found hanging in her jail cell on July 13 with a plastic trash bag around her neck. Bland's traffic stop and subsequent death have been taken up by activists who say the case is the latest example of racial bias and excessive force by U.S. law enforcement. Bland's family previously acknowledged a Facebook post by the 28-year-old Chicago area native in which she discussed struggling with depression, but it disputed the suicide ruling. While officials have said they are handling the investigation like a murder probe, they announced on Thursday there was no evidence in the autopsy to support a finding of murder, but the plastic trash bag was being tested further. Deepram said it was unclear whether Bland ingested marijuana before or after she was jailed. Waller County Sheriff Glenn Smith, whose office operates the jail where Bland died, searched her cell for evidence of marijuana and found nothing, Deepram said. However, he added that the high level of the drug in Bland's system could have influenced her mood while in jail. It is a mood amplifier, so it is relevant in our opinion to determine whether or not marijuana may have played a role in her death as well, exacerbating existing conditions, he said. Bland had lacerations and abrasions on her wrists that could have been received when she was handcuffed during her arrest. He said she also had about 30 healing cuts on her left arm that occurred 2 to 4 weeks before. He said an attorney for the Bland family, Canon Lambert, before Deepram's press conference called the autopsy defective. The family's confidence is shaken by the continued discrepancies that are surfacing, Lambert said in an email. Waller County officials said another autopsy was not needed, just further testing of evidence. Bland's body was returned to the Chicago area on Wednesday in preparation for a funeral on Saturday. Not viewed as suicide risk, Smith told Reuters on Wednesday that the jailers on duty when Bland was admitted felt she was not a suicide risk based on their observations in her statement on the questionnaire that she was not suicidal at the time. However, according to the questionnaire, Bland also marked that she had tried to commit suicide last year by taking pills after the loss of a baby. She also said she had epilepsy. Bland's full autopsy and toxicology reports may be released on Friday. The jail where Bland died was cited 3 days after her death by the Texas Commission on Jail Standards for failing to complete visual face-to-face observations of inmates every 60 minutes as required by state regulations. Bland was being held alone in a cell designed for up to 5 women when she was found dead. Bland made 3 calls from the jail the day after her arrest to her sister, a local friend and a bail bondsman, said Trey Doohan, Waller County's administrative leader. The bondsman spoke to family members about arranging Bland's bail, but nothing came of that, Doohan said. In the call to her friend, LaVon Mosley, Bland talked about having her bail set at $5,000. ABC-owned TV station KTRK reported, "I'm still just at a loss for words, honestly, about this whole process, how this switching lanes with no signal turned into all of this. I don't even know," Bland said in the message, according to the Houston station. But I am still here, so just call me back when you can." Reuters was not able to reach Mosley to confirm the voicemail.